Hi, I'm John Calderazo. I'm a teacher at Colorado State University of Creative Writing, and I'm a writer.
So John, what might you take away from this gathering, this encounter with the mountain, this recovering landscape that might contribute or inform the work that you do?
Well, I wrote a book, a children's book about volcanoes a few years ago, and then I just finished an adult book on volcanoes around the world and the way they affect human culture in very, very many different kinds of ways, many ways which surprised me. And I thought when I was finished with that book that I may have exhausted the subject, but coming here with all these great people to talk to and all this amazing landscape to see and you might say regenerate my ideas has showed me that there are many, many, many other ways to think about it beyond the ways that I thought I had exhausted. And that's been a great part of being here with really thoughtful people who are also concerned about the greater world.
This bringing together of the sciences and humanities, writers, artists, scientists, that's a worthwhile thing? Is that productive?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been of the belief for a long time that scientists have as much of an appreciation for beauty, elegant design, and so forth as writers and poets do. Although, of course, many times scientists don't give voice to that, partly because they're not supposed to give voice to that, from the obligations of their job. But in fact, we were talking at the campfire last night, and I thought some of the scientists talking about what this means to them spoke as beautifully as any of the poets in the group, as they spoke as economically, as lyrically, and as movingly. And that's one of the things I love about being a layperson as far as science goes and talking to scientists. Because what I really like to write about, and what I've been writing about my whole career, is people who are completely passionate about what they do, who love beauty in the world, and who understand, as I believe deeply to be the case, that there are stories everywhere all around us. There are wonderful things all around us all the time. Not always necessarily good things, but they're wonderful, amazing, awe-inspiring things. And that it's our obligation and our pleasure to find those things and talk about them in the best way that we can do that. And I'm seeing a million examples of that.
Are there some things that you've seen, heard, or both during the last few days that have really stood out for you?
Well, I've been to this mountain before, the one over my shoulder, but I'm seeing now further stages of regrowth. I understand some people don't want us to say recovery because it assumes that everything was just right before, when in fact the world is endlessly evolutionary, endlessly changeable. The way the Buddhists talk about the transitory nature of life, we have the transitory nature of stages of life. And we can hardly see this better than in this living laboratory. So that's been really wonderful to see. It's also been wonderful and a blessing that the mountain has allowed me to see it, allowed us all to see it, because it's hardly been shrouded at all in clouds. And that can easily be the case otherwise. And then one other thing that strikes me about the mountain is that as big as it looks, that mountain is only a fraction of the complete system, which has roots, that is magma chambers, and below that magma plumes that are rising from probably the outer core of the Earth, meaning at least 2,000 feet below us, 2,000 miles below us. So as big as that thing is, as large as the disturbance or the impact has been here, it's really only the small visible point of a very large ongoing system that's as old as the Earth itself. From volcanoes, we've gotten most of the water and the oxygen on this planet, and that's continuing right here. That's a great thing to see.